do this.
Welcome back to another episode of Minsopology. And you will notice that this time the background looks more luscious, more beautiful, right? And I'll tell you the reason why is because this episode we have an amazing guest that we are lucky to interview. We're lucky to have a discussion with.
I know.
And it's a very close friend of ours and the owner of the Sahrati restaurant in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And look, I'll let you introduce yourself.
You take it. Bring the microphone
Mic a bit closer, yeah.
Go for it,
Take it
bro.
away.
Well, thanks guys for having me anyways.
Pleasure.
Well, I'll introduce myself. So, start with my name is Anas, as you just mentioned. The owner of Sahrati restaurant in Liverpool. What else would you like to know? Just beside that.
Right, honestly, run us through your history. I'm always been, because when we started together, we started together. I used to work as a waiter across the street, and he used to be with us.
That's
And
right.
he always had the dream of pretty much opening up his own place. So I want to know more about that. I want to know more about this battle that you went through.
I think it started in 2012, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2012. Well, I actually came to Australia in 2012 in July, I still remember. As you said, so I started as a waiter just across the road. I did more than one job at that time.
Yeah.
I worked pretty much as a cleaner, waiter. At that time, I was still starting at school at the same time.
How old were you when you came?
18.
18?
Just turned 18.
Wow,
yeah.
18.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, I always wanted to do something that I actually enjoy, you know what I mean? So I can't see myself enjoying anything better than this.
Bring closer. You can bring us closer if you want, it's fine.
Yeah, is it all clear now?
Yeah, no, it's so it's easier for the recording. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as I said, I really like doing something that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And obviously I enjoy what I'm doing here, you know what I mean? So since 2012, I had that vision to actually own a restaurant one day.
Cool.
Or be at least my own self-employed, or just to be like a business man one day. You know what I mean? And that's how it all started.
Yeah, and I remember you started across the street, you guys in different restaurants. How did that sort of shape your experience here?
Look, it all started, as I said, I always had that vision, and then I just started putting things together. So it was all just about the experience.
Yeah.
So I still remember pretty much every single day at that time, I was still learning new things, you know what I mean, as I go. So from Argila guy, I was actually the first one probably to start Argila in Liverpool back in 2012. There's nothing like that.
Yeah, exactly. It was never big back then.
Yeah, and then I was still introducing that concept to everyone here. And then started again as a waiter, improved, and then I became supervisor, and then I started managing restaurants, and then moved into different restaurants. And all started from there, bro. Just the experience, honestly. I was always learning new things, and I also started business in Western Sydney University.
Oh, nice.
That was my...
Did that help you? Did they help you shape the way you ran your restaurant, you reckon?
It did help a lot, in a way. Look, I did business and commerce and accounting major, so I'm pretty much an accountant as well, because I finished that course. It did help in a way where I actually learned how to deal with every problem or issue that faces my business, regardless if it's internal or external issues. It did help, you know what I mean? It helped in improving the business, managing the business better. So I can't say, look, I wasted 3 years at uni because I wanted to be an accountant and it didn't work out.
I mean, you're still using these skills day in, day out.
100%. Look, it's funny because I graduated from uni, right? And then I actually worked 1 week in an office as an accountant.
Yeah.
And I hated it. I actually hated it.
It's not for everyone, man. It's not for everyone.
It's not my thing, bro. I can't sit there in an office and just be lazy and wait for a client to come in and just talk to them, or just be behind a computer all day.
No.
So I just hated it. And then that's when I walked out, and I was like, I want to do my own thing.
There you go.
I went back to my vision. I was like, what happened? I gotta do what I actually enjoy. And then I just went back to it, and then I started again working here before I actually bought it.
Yeah.
And then that's how it all started. And I was like, it's still in my blood. I feel like I can still do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I studied accounting and I went to uni for 3 years, but still, it's not a waste of time. I'm still at a young age. I can do it.
I think what it is, it's a lot of people don't know what they want to do. So it becomes a waste of time. But when you have a vision, things are a bit more clear. You know, you've got this plan. You know, this degree is going to back you up in A, B, C. Right?
True.
So by the time you actually open up your business, you don't need to go to an accountant. You know how to figure all these things out yourself. You know? That's the sort of, you know, that's the positive part of it. And the business part of it probably allowed you to understand the dynamics of how to run a business. And not just that, I think it's even more important on how to manage staff, because you're more of a team leader than a boss.
100%.
Like you have to lead by example day in, day out.
Look, with business like ours, you can't be a boss, honestly.
Exactly.
If you want to be a successful, you need to be a leader. You need to be working just as hard as your workers. There's nothing wrong with wiping tables, helping the workers work as a team. You know what I mean?
Every time I come in, you're always at the front. You're always welcoming guests. You're always taking orders. Because I feel like if they see you leading by example, I've realized your staff is probably the longest lasting.
That's true.
And the reason why is because one of the boys I know personally, he enjoys working here. And he's been here for like 7-8 years. He doesn't want to leave.
That's right.
Because he enjoys the environment.
Yeah. No, we started... so I remember I hired 2 of my staff in 2018. They're still with me, you know what I mean? And they, as I said, like they actually enjoy it every single day. I don't remember having any issues with them since 2017 or 18. But yeah, look, this is how it should be. You know what I mean? Like you treat your workers as a family, but at the same time you treat them, you know, professional, like with the professionalism, and make sure that they're actually doing the job 100%.
Exactly.
But make sure you set as an example of how a worker and a leader should look like.
Exactly. I think the next thing that we wanted to focus on is how did you start with this business, A, and what sort of, I guess, challenges you had, right, getting through it, and how did you learn from people around you, from other businesses around you? Because this is a very interesting, because you would have witnessed a lot of people open up and close in the area, right?
That's true.
So how did you learn from all this, and how did you adapt to all the changes that we went through? And we'll get to COVID very soon as well.
Look, challenges at the start. Look, as I said, like I came in 2012. I was always working. I was always trying to save some money. I never did at that time. You can't really save some money. You can't, no. But anyways, look, when I decided to buy this business, at that time I remember it cost me about 150,000 just to buy the business. I had $2,000 out of that 150,000. But look, I ended up buying the business. It's not like, you know, like I didn't get any help or anything. I didn't ask for help. I'm that type of person where I just like doing things myself. You know what I mean? I didn't get any loans. I actually applied for loans that got rejected. It was just didn't go through.
The usual stuff.
Yeah, because you know my income wasn't as good. Anyways, I managed to buy it. I used my uni skills.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up buying it. I saved, you know, as I was working here, and I bought the business on installments. This is how I actually bought it.
Oh wow.
That's what I learned from uni. So if you can't really buy things at once, and you look, I didn't give up. Like I know the loan didn't go through. My family is not rich to help. I couldn't get the help that I.
It's the ethnic story.
100%. So I ended up just you know talking to the previous owner. We ended up just sorting it on installments, and the business pays itself. Eventually.
What was this previous place before you bought it?
It was a gelato place. It was
gelato,
just a gelato. It was. The owner struggled, the previous owner struggled really bad, so he just wanted to get rid of it. But I've looked at it as a piece of gold.
What do you think was his problem with it? Why did he struggle?
Look, it's not his thing.
It wasn't his.
It wasn't. Look, when you want to do something, you got to give it 100%. You know what I mean? He wasn't giving this business 100%. He was barely here. And when he comes, he's always tired, and he doesn't open on time, close on time. And also, before he actually bought the business, there was 3 different owners, and it never worked out for anyone.
Wow.
So look, the place wasn't the way it is now. It was pretty much nothing. You know what I mean? So, but I looked at it. I looked at the location, and again, this is what I learned from uni: the location, the position of the business, all these, you know, things. And I put it together, and I was like, you know what? It ticks all the boxes. It just needs the right person to actually make it work. And I looked at it as a piece of gold. I was like, you know what? There's nothing to lose.
Exactly.
I'll take it. If I don't end up paying the money, what's going to happen? End up in jail? All right. So what else?
I mean, I guess it was a do or die sort of thing. You know,
but you know what I mean? Like, well, you know, like it's an opportunity.
Exactly.
You have to take it.
And I agree with that. I think for a man to be a man, you got to take risks. You got to take risks.
100%.
Without a risk, you're not going to learn. You're not going to grow.
Of course, right.
You're not going to build resilience.
Look, with any business, if you don't take the risk, you're not gonna really make it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If you're gonna just sit down and always think about falling and failing and all of that, mate, like, all right, and then what's gonna happen? But you'd rather just stay working for people the rest of your life and then just just be happy with your wages.
Yeah, you can't. Not without modern inflation. There's no way.
You know what I mean? Like,
there's absolutely no way.
You want to think about your kids later on, your family. You want them to be at least financially stable. I'm not saying rich, but financially stable. You don't want your kids to go through what we actually went
exactly.
through.
I think a good opportunity, an equal opportunity with everyone else. That's what we always look out for.
That's right.
And when you have a family, it's no longer about you. You're not the priority.
That's true.
So I think I believe it becomes more about this has to work. There's no like, oh, there's second chances. This has to work. There's no way around it, right? Do you have any questions and stuff?
No, I was going to go back to when you first bought the restaurant, or when you first got it on installments.
Yeah.
What did you realize the small changes that you had to make that made a big difference? What were the small changes when you first bought it? When you were still getting around, when you were still learning, what were the small changes that you had to make that were?
Look, the business to start with needed some commitment.
Of course. Yeah.
So this business was never open on time. So I had to be here pretty much every day on time to suss it out and make sure that, okay, now the customers understand this is a legit business. It opens on time and closes on time.
Yeah.
It's not like, okay, it says, for example, on Google, okay, it opens at 2 o'clock and then, but the business actually opens at 7 o'clock.
You
know what I mean? So that's one of the biggest mistakes. And
you got to deliver on your promises.
Of course. So commitment to start with, so I make sure that I'm here every single day on time or even earlier, and I close just when the customers leave, which is, let's say 11 or 11:30 or whatever it is.
Fair.
Okay, but you don't really make your customers feel uncomfortable and just quick them up like, oh, all right, we have to close because I gotta go home and sleep. It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work.
So that's what I believe the previous owner was actually doing. So just close early, open late, whatever, and then the customers, they don't feel like, okay, they're actually welcome, or they don't feel comfortable to come back. So that's one of the biggest mistakes they actually made, and not just the previous one, even the other 3 other owners made the same mistakes, because they just looked at it. It's just a small restaurant or a small cafe or just a gelato cafe in Liverpool.
No.
Like it's not okay. Liverpool or Parramatta or the city, whatever it is. It's the fact that, okay, you wanna consider your business to be the best. You gotta actually give it your 100%. Okay, you give it all out. Like, do all you can to actually make it the best. Okay, I don't consider myself as in a restaurant in Liverpool only. I consider myself as in I want to be one of the biggest restaurants in Australia, or even in the world.
Of course,
and that's how you look at it. That's how you should actually look at your restaurant.
It's like your baby. It's literally your baby. You're growing it up, so you gotta take all the risks, all the financial decisions, knowing that maybe one day it will become that. You know who I enjoy watching a lot on Instagram? Rami, the Rashay's owner.
Oh, Rami, yes.
He's an amazing fella.
Rami is a legend, bro. Like, I really respect him a lot. Like, he started his business with his wife, and I actually started this business with my partner as well, who's my wife now.
Yeah, that's right.
So we started it together, yes. She came up with the name, by the way. She came up with the Sahrati name. So,
how did you meet your wife? You guys were...
We worked together.
You worked together, right?
We worked together. She used to live in the country, and then all of a sudden she came here, and then looked at her. You know what?
Why not?
No, I actually looked at her and was like, you're just going to be my wife?
That's it. It doesn't take that long, bro. You're like, I'm going to wife you up. That's it.
Actually, I had different feelings to her. I was like, nah, man, like she's the one.
Yeah, exactly. That's good, man. I'm glad.
It took me actually 5 years to get married. Like, we were together for 5 years, just knowing each other, making sure, okay, she's the one, I'm the one.
I'm glad. It's nice that you take your time. You have to take your time, because she's just not your partner. She's your financial partner. She's the mother of your children. When you're working here practically 24/7. You got to make sure someone's looking after the kids and someone good that you can trust at home.
Of course.
And that itself is a big commitment. So 5 years is definitely a good choice.
So we've been together now for about 7 years all up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It should be like that. She knows the sacrifice that you're taking, and that's how it should be. Now, there's also there's a discussion that we talk about. What were your biggest challenges after you've opened up, right? And what has been probably your biggest mistakes that you reflect on and you've grown from or you've learned from in this?
Look, the biggest challenge I would say, Corona, obviously.
Yeah.
But I really copped it hard because just before Corona started, we were actually in the middle of renovating the place.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just in the middle of doing it, and I'm making it look like the way it is now. And then Corona started, and the lockdown started. I was like, all right, okay. And then I couldn't do much during the lockdown because it's hard to get the tradies out. And then waited after Corona, and then trying to get the tradies back was just even harder because they got too busy with other jobs and they're trying to catch up. You know
Of
what I mean?
course.
And then, so after that, I just wanted really to finish the renovation and just wanted, the shop was open after the lockdown, back to normal, but still wasn't fully ready. You know what I mean? So it was just still, half done.
And how long were you guys closed for?
Well, look, the first lockdown was just normal like everyone else.
Yeah.
The second lockdown, after the second lockdown, we actually closed for extra 14 months. 14 months.
Wow.
That's why I said we copped it really hard, the second lockdown. The second lockdown was because, the council, I believe at that time after the lockdown, started changing the rules. They asked for, a lot of requirements. A lot of different businesses ended up closing down because of them requirements.
Because were you expecting to still pay rent throughout that period?
I was paying rent. His premises. He needs his money. He's got family too. So I was still paying rent. I was, I was just doing it really tough. But we managed to come back because, we didn't give up. It was really tough. I ended up working somewhere else. My wife was working somewhere else just to at least go through it.
Yeah, exactly.
We lost, at that time we had a land. We ended up losing it because I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'd rather lose my land than my business. You know what I mean? So I ended up just selling the land so we can at least, keep up with everything else. But look, gladly we ended up making it back. We made up for the land. We're back on our feet, stronger than before.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
I don't see myself closing for any other reasons.
If you went through this period and you survived it, you can survive it.
Exactly.
That's how I look at it. It's just the resilience that you get out of it.
Honestly, that was one of the biggest challenges anyone would think of.
Yeah.
But look, honestly, I'm very, very glad that it actually happened when I was still young.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So you can
Learn from it, yeah.
all right, I ended up struggling for a bit or for 14 months. It's a big thing, but we still managed to come back out of it. And that was, blessing as well to actually think of it. Okay, every day, every time I go through something in life or in business, and I think about what I went through, and I'm like, you know what, that was the hardest thing ever. Whatever I'm gonna face from now on,
exactly. It's like nothing. It's a piece of cake. Exactly.
And it's funny when I look back and I think about it. It just. It was a struggle, but it actually paid off, and I learned a lot from it.
And that's how it should be. I think the struggle of all of what pretty much humanity went through in that period. Because I was in Gold Coast at that time, and I recall a lot of businesses were shutting down. People were getting divorced. People were losing their businesses. People were moving away to another country. It was ridiculously challenging just for the human mental health. Just for the mental health part, you don't know where you're going. No one knew what was going on. And to walk out of it, then afterwards that you dealt with a rising inflation, which is a challenge of itself, employees expecting to get a higher raise, higher payment, keeping up with all these things, keeping up with the regulations. I think it's a new challenge of its own after COVID. And for a business, I think the way to adapt is be creative, right? Yeah. I think that's the one way. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the businesses that did fail, or they didn't continue, or it kind of just ruined them or broke them down. The opposite that happened to the other businesses, the businesses that came out of it, such as yours or such as the other businesses in the area, they became stronger from it. It was and it's very obvious that it's not like we're making we're doing a little bit better, but it's look at this place, bro.
Yeah, It's a commonplace. Everyone knows it, and I think he I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Anas, but a lot of times your aim is to keep customers coming back.
Of course,
right? Because they're just customers, they're just shoppers at that time, right? They shop around. If they find somewhere where they are comfortable and they like it, they'll come back. There's no point of going somewhere else, right? For you, before I get to that, I think the next thing is what was one of the biggest regrets that you went through and you've learned so much from? I don't like using the word regret, but I think every man has a regret in some way or another when it comes to a business.
Not regret, but I would say unfortunate. It's just the fact that just before the lockdown started, I was pretty much investing all my money into the business.
Yeah, of course. Just like anyone else.
Into one business. And I was just focusing really on spending every single dollar on this business and building it to the way it is today, okay?
Yeah.
Where I should have just invested into other businesses as well.
Like, diversifying the portfolio. Yeah, it's very important. That's very important.
It is. So I pretty much ended up spending all my money at that time into the business and the land that I ended up selling eventually. But I learned from that. And as you know, so we work on different businesses now. It's not just in hospitality. We're actually doing different things now. So again, like, I don't really regret it. I learned from it. And I'm working on it. You know what I mean? So
exactly. Yeah.
So
exactly. I think Riwan, you had something you want to say.
No, I was going to get onto the customer service.
Yeah. That's very
probably another big point.
How do you pick your staff?
My staff.
How do you pick them? Like, do you have interviews and then say, but how do you pick them? How do you know these ones going to be good for maintaining customers or keeping them around and making sure they come back? What's your trick for that?
Look, with my workers, I don't go for the experience. This is something, okay.
Because you can learn it. You can learn it.
Look, every single owner thinks, okay, I want to get the workers with experience. All right, but I'll tell you one thing. The workers with experience are going to give you a headache. Not for anything. It's not their fault. It's not their fault as well. They just learned, specific way, of working. Different places. And now you're going to bring him here and tell them, okay, this is my way, this is what you need to follow, right? Like, some of them will accept it. A lot of people won't accept it. And if they do, they're going to still, give you comments on everything.
Sure.
Now, my way, as I said, like, my staff, like some of them being here since 2018, right? So my way is I get the workers in here. I provide full training program.
Wow.
Over 2 weeks. Within these 2 weeks, I really, put everything I can with this, workers to actually teach them everything they need. Okay. So, for example, I get the guys that work on the floor, right? Let's say the guy on the door. Okay, if it's not me, I'll get the guys on the door. Their job is to know my regular customers by names. They need to know them by names. So it's not something easy as well. So imagine, for example, you come in, hi Yahya, how are you? Okay, I do that as an owner, right? Because I know Yahya. But also, all my workers should know you by the name.
Of course.
Okay, and this is what I teach them. That makes you feel comfortable to come back. Oh, this guy knows me by the name. Like, I want to go back now. Okay, when you go to a different restaurant, just a table for one. All right, no, sit here. Mate, would you rather go there, or would you want to go back to Sahrati where they actually treat me like a family member? They still remember my name. They know my order, and they know exactly what I'm there for. This is what I treat my workers like. This is what I actually teach my workers to do. Okay, this is just an example. So again, when I hire the workers, I hire them, making sure that they're actually quick learners, they listen carefully, they're nice and respectful towards the customers and the workers as well. And they work as a team. This is the main thing. Look, it's not hard really to get the workers. It's just a matter of time, and you need to make sure that you get the right workers in the right position. That's the hardest part.
So when you train them for those 2 weeks, you sort of pick and point where they're good at, what's their strengths, what's their weaknesses, and then you allocate them to a particular role, pretty much.
That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of the workers that we actually end up getting on the training program don't end up getting the job.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so we get them here. Okay, we do the first interview. I do normally 3 interviews. I do the first interview, normal, all right. We do the trial, all right. They come back again. They go for the 2 weeks.
Cool.
Okay. During the 2 weeks, we do the second interview. After the 2 weeks, we give them the third interview.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, during the 2 weeks, I give them the feedback. Okay, this is what you need to do to improve. This is what you need to actually work on. Now, within these 2 weeks, if the workers don't know the menu by heart from A to Z, and they don't know what they're actually doing, then
there's no point.
There's no point.
You're wasting your time.
Exactly. So as I said, so my main thing is always respect. I just need to make sure that I'm getting the respectful workers to work for me, and then everything else becomes easy. As long as they're nice, respectful, work as a team, they're willing to work and learn, then I don't think there should be any issue.
Okay, that's very interesting. And is it hard retaining staff these days?
It is. It is.
Because I think the cost of living is increasing, and therefore I think they're expecting to get paid higher for probably the same job that they were doing 3-4 years ago. So that's a problem now you're facing.
Look, we're facing that issue. I don't know if you've noticed. You've been a customer here for too long now. My prices haven't even changed since like at least a year or two. Okay. Even though everything went up, right? But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep my customers happy, and I'm also trying to keep my workers happy. So I give them what they deserve, obviously, and I try my best to look after them. Even though, that means, like my profit will go down. But as long as the workers are, like doing the job 100%, the customers are coming back, I don't see as an issue. You know what I mean? I'd rather cut my profit a little bit down and making everyone else happy.
Which is a very big call from a boss. Or not from a boss, from a homeowner, from like a business owner. It's a very big decision to make, that you are cutting, pretty much money from your own home to make sure these things fall in line.
Look, I'd rather doing that than, letting my workers down or making sure, for example, they're not happy. I'd rather risk it myself. Yeah. I'd rather do it for, like for myself than my customers or even my workers.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever had to fire an employee here?
I've done it many times, to be honest. But look, they've done it this. Like, if you want to think about it differently, okay? Yeah. Look, I don't come to this business to actually fire workers, okay? Like, but if my workers are not here every single day on time, if they're not doing their job 100%, they're expecting, to get paid just for sitting down and doing nothing. So obviously they ask for it. You know what I mean?
They fire themselves.
Can you notice these behaviors in the beginning, or sometimes they don't? They put an act on and then...
When they get comfortable.
That's the problem. It's like a relationship, eh? When they get comfortable, everything comes out.
Look, I don't fire them straight away. I give them warning, once, twice, 3 times, and then that's it. That's, like, you need to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's affecting your business, and your workers are getting too comfortable to the point where, you think, they are your boss. Yeah. Or pretty much, they forget who started this business.
Exactly. It's like, I've been here for too long, I can get away with stuff. But
exactly.
That's not how it is.
Exactly. Now there's I've got something in my mind. What's the inspiration for your menu? How did you come up with your menu?
Look, I started with a very small menu.
Yeah.
Again,
I think menu was desserts back then, right?
Oh man. Probably had like a waffle.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that. I remember we used to sit inside here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Look, we started with waffle and just some gelato.
Yeah.
I kept the gelato at that time because I just couldn't afford another freezer. So I just kept the freezer there, and then I just bought the gelato, and then had the waffle machine. I was like, you know what, just keep doing the waffle then. But look, I just kept everything nice and simple.
Exactly.
Because at that time I was just working here by myself. And then, like slowly, so we started expanding. And then I wouldn't put anything on the menu that I don't know how to do. Simple as that. So regardless if it's in the kitchen or on the dessert or the drinks. So I make sure I learn how to do the items that I want to add on the menu.
Exactly.
And then I'll show my team how to do it.
Fair.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then look, my menu now is massive. Obviously, I know how to do everything on the menu.
Did you hire a chef for these sort of stuff first? For someone to show you these sort of things?
Honestly,
you're
going to laugh at this, okay? I have now 5 chefs, okay? At the point, at that time when I actually made the menu, I was the only one working in the kitchen. I wanted to actually see it myself. So I hired workers on the floor. I hired workers to work on the dessert. In the kitchen, I was the first one to actually work in the kitchen. I established the kitchen my way, and I put the menu, the food that I know how to cook. Okay, and then slowly, I started again adding more items, and then I hired the chefs. So the chefs walk into the kitchen, they're expecting to just do whatever they want, and I was like to them, with all respect, like, you know what you're doing. I know you're a chef. you follow my menu, and this is how I want to do things. And they actually had to go follow my menu and follow my food. And then if I wanted to improve anything or change anything, okay, then we sit down and we discuss it together. You get what I mean? Like, it just, I wouldn't really give the kitchen to one person just to come in and do their own thing, and then eventually, okay, if they say, Anas, I'm just leaving, then what do? I close down my restaurant?
Yeah, of course not.
It's going to take me a bit longer, but I'd rather making sure that I'm doing it, the safest way possible.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I'm sure there's some items that were on the menu before that you had to remove just based off maybe customers or the chefs.
Of course, yeah. Look, as I said, like, we discuss things, they add things, we change things, we improve things. But when we change things, I just make sure that I know it. You know what I mean? They can't just come in, okay, I want to add this item or whatever, and then they just do it their way. I have to, for example, if these guys can't come to work anymore, okay, I need to make sure my business is still running.
Yeah, exactly. Someone else can still make the food. Now, do you go through like a tasting menu in like, I don't know, is there like places that you guys go to and like decide on the menus? Like open shows or sort of buffets where they cook in front of you and then you decide, and there's like a lot of business owners there for restaurants? Is there a way they do that?
No, not really. Look, I take my my staff out every time I can, and then we go to different restaurants just to try the food out.
Oh, that's
like,
nice. That's
honestly,
very interesting.
And then if we like the film, we're like, oh, you know what, that should be on the menu. This, we could actually do it better. We could change 1, 2, 3 and make it, with our signature, and then I'm pretty sure the customers will love it even more.
Exactly.
And this is what we normally do. And I've been overseas. Look, when I talk about Sahrati, I honestly think of Dubai. I go, I just get everything, all the ideas from overseas. Look, Dubai is more advanced. Let's just be honest, okay? It's more advanced. They have their own things. They do things completely differently.
They have the money to do whatever they want, however they want.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. And I'm just trying to bring, something from Dubai here, and that's I feel like it's working. Look at Sahrati now.
Of course, amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. So we've talked about the food. We've talked about the staff. Now I want to get onto the actual customers. So what's the first thing that pops into your head? What's the strangest customer experience that you've had?
Oh man.
Or the craziest, or something that we wouldn't believe, like the
craziest
funniest, experience.
The funniest or the craziest, and like the worst experience.
Yeah,
so that'll be a good way to end the discussions as well. Yeah.
But look, based on what I remember, I had a customer. He owned a kebab shop back in the days, like when he was like I'm talking about it, like when he was at least in his 20s or 30s, whatever. So you're talking about 20, 30 years ago when he was, a business owner. Now he came in, I remember it was about 2019, 20, something like that. So anyways, he came in here, he asked for a mixed grill. My mixed grill at that time was about, I think, $25 or $30, something like that. Yeah. He came in, he asked for it. Anyways, he ate the whole thing. And then he goes, like he's trying to find something to complain on, like he's trying to get something for free. He goes, mate, like, your mixy grill, why is it 30 or 25, whatever? I was like, what do you mean, mate? Like, it comes with 1, 2, 3. He goes, your neighbor sells it for, $5 less.
Go there.
That's exactly what I told him anyways, but in a different way. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. Like, well, why didn't you complain before you actually got it?
Yeah, exactly. You saw the price.
You're complaining now. Anyways, I was like, just go there. Anyways, and then he kept talking about it, and he was really rude. Like, he was... how I heard about it is one of my staff came back to me almost crying. She goes, Anas, that guy is just so rude, Anas. Like, with every word that he says, he just put the fuck word in. Like, why the...
Yeah, that's fine. You can swear, don't worry.
And then he was, like, rude about it. Anyways, I love dealing with customers like that, so I ended up going back to it.
It's in our blood, bro. It's like
it is,
especially if they hate one of your own staff as well. Like, you want to get back at it.
It's annoying, bro. Like, like, I know my staff are nice and respectful. Just respect yourself as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I went up to him and was like, mate, well, what's the issue here? And he's got kids on the table, bro. Like, sitting down with family, him and his wife.
And he's still behaving in such a degenerate way.
Exactly.
There you go.
And anyways, I started dealing with him. I was like, mate, well, what's going on? And it turned out, like, he had a food truck 30 years ago, whatever, and he expected me to tell him I just pay half price. I charged him full price anyways. And then the guy comes back again. And then he came in by himself at that time, which I was very happy. So I sat down with him straight. Like he sat down and I sat down right next to him. And I ordered 2 coffees for both of us.
And you were just having like
and I was
proper,
like,
proper
listen,
talk,
man, like honestly, like with all respect, you want to come back here, just make sure you sit down nice, you know, nice, be respectful for my staff.
Yeah.
And I'll respect you back. And I was like to him, honestly, bro, you if you don't like my mixer grill, why are you coming back? Just go back there.
Yeah.
And it turned out that he actually had the mixer grill there. He couldn't even finish it, and he
hated it.
He hated it, and he
Yeah.
came back here. And then after that conversation that I had with him, bro, we became best friends, me and him.
It's always those odd encounters.
That's how it starts.
But it was just, you know what I mean? Like it was just annoying. He was trying to get, mate, like the guy's a millionaire, but he's still trying to get something for free.
Yeah, no, it's like the best and the worst encounter at the same
There you
time.
go.
You're like, how do I win from that?
But yeah, so look, there's always people out there trying to get something for free.
Yeah, exactly.
But look, I always give things for free on the table, like, but it doesn't mean that you can take that for granted. You know what I mean? Like coming from customers or even workers, anyone in general.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you know what I mean? Like we're all working hard for living. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No, like I respect that. I respect that absolutely. I think one thing that we like to finish on, because we're hitting like nearly 40 minutes actually, is words of wisdom from a business owner.
Not yet. I think we should
You
get to
got
his
something?
background.
Oh no, yeah. Let's do
Yeah.
background and then we'll have.
So we're gonna do your ethnic background.
Ethnic background. Actually, ethnic. No, 2 more. Ethnic. Then let's talk about like your future prospects. What sort of your future plans, and then we'll end with words of wisdom.
okay.
All right?
Well, background. We're gonna upset a lot of customers here. Well, look. Honestly, all my Iraqi customers think I'm actually Iraqi because I speak Iraqi.
Yeah.
I've got the accent and I speak it really good. The Lebanese have the same stories. They think I'm Lebanese. Look, I was born and raised in Jordan, so I'm full Jordanian. My family, you can say, mix Syrian and Lebanese.
Yeah.
As you know, my wife's from Lebanon, but I'm fully Jordanian.
We lived in Jordan for 5 years.
Oh,
We lived
you
in
did?
Jordan. And what's the future plans?
Future plans. Look, all I can say is Sahrati is just a beginning.
Exactly.
Like,
I like that.
my dreams are too big. You know what I mean? Sahrati is just probably one of the smallest dreams. As I said, like this is just a beginning. All I can say to you is I'm building an empire one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can see it already coming.
Yeah.
One step at a time, exactly.
100%. So look, we're gonna have more of Sahrati. We're gonna have different types of businesses, and as I said, like this is just a beginning.
Amazing. How do you, as I think as men, we're always full of ego, right? To prove ourselves, prove it to others. How do you keep yourself in check?
Look, one thing I would just say, I always say to myself anyways, just don't forget your roots. Don't forget where you came from. You know what I mean? Like, I came from a country where, you know, like I couldn't see any future in there. And I just came into Australia to actually work, make a living, and I do appreciate everything I have. And I would never ever forget my roots and where I came from. You know what I mean? And yeah.
Awesome. I'll hand the last one to you.
Yeah, so we do this with every other guest. Words of wisdom. So maybe a story or
Something that as a message that you want.
that you
the
think would be
audience.
valuable for our audience when it comes to business or your
Something that you've
background or
learned along
anything.
the way. Yeah, exactly.
Look, I would just say, like, honestly, like we live once, right? Just don't give up on your dreams. Just give it 100%. Give it all out. Try your best. Don't. As long as you still breathe, make sure you don't stop dreaming.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, just
It's a good quote.
Just try your best.
Always.
You know what I
At
mean?
least just 1% improvement every day.
And just always try to be around motivated people, bro. Like
Yeah, that's
positive
what-
people.
right, you
It's
need that.
very
You
important to
need
be
that.
around positive people. It's very important to actually make sure that, you know, like you're around the right people and in the right environment as well.
Exactly.
You know
I
what mean?
notice sometimes as you sort of become more clear-headed and clear-visioned, you're likely also to become more alone and more isolated because you're so focused. And the people that share this sort of vision obviously aren't out there. So you're right. At least surround yourself by people that are similar-minded in a way. For example, they run businesses. They have this sort of very courageous approach in life where when you feel down or you feel shit or you feel like you've reached the top, there's always someone better than you. So they sort of remind you.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look at that, man. All right. I mean, absolutely amazing. Thanks so much for this chat, man.
No worries.
Pleasure. It's been in the plans for like 2 weeks,
Yeah,
so thank God, eh?
I know, right?
But honestly, pleasure. Thank you so much, and I really hope that we get some really valuable sort of lessons out of this.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Thanks
Peace
for your
out.
time, guys.
Take care, guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you, I
man.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.